Hello everybody, my name is Gerson Givano Galeano and this is an assignment for the Intercultural Communication and Language Teaching class of the Master's degree in Teaching English as a Foreign Language. As you can hear in my voice, I am not sounding nor looking as best as I should and I normally would, so I'm not gonna turn on my camera this time. I would like to talk to you about San Andrés y Providencia. So, first of all, soy colombiano, and I find it surprising how very few people here even know that we have a Caribbean English Creole. It's because we often think of English as something that is foreign, but in San Andres it's actually part of our history. And I think that learning about Creole felt like discovering part of the hidden, let's call it like that, part of my country. So yeah, this topic is very personal to me. To provide you with some context, San Andres is an island located in the Caribbean. It belongs to Colombia and it's located near Nicaragua. Now, even though it's part of Colombia, it has its own special local culture, and interestingly, people on the island speak English officially as well as Spanish and a local Creole language called San Andrés Creole or Island English Creole. I would love to show you now an example. Oh, sorry about that. So, as I said, unlike the rest of Colombia, English and Creole are official languages here. And this is thanks to the history of British colonization and African heritage. There is even an official version in English of the national anthem, but I'm not going to play that one because the singer is terrible, at least the televised version. As I was going to say, I would love to show you a video of a woman speaking English. This is a contestant of a beauty pageant, so let's have a quick look at this. You speak. Let me just move the right. Here would be good.
Why do you speak English natively? Why?
Okay, well, in San Andrés we speak English and we speak Creole English. So I mix sometimes the two language and I have the facility to speak both
Very
of them.
beautiful. You're very
I thank you very much.
If there's any young girls out there wanting to become a beauty queen,
So you can see her accent is pretty Caribbean. I would love to show you now a more recent example. This is a TikTok made by Viajando con One about Creole. So about 30,000 people speak Creole, but it's at risk because Spanish is dominating schools and TV, and as a consequence, a lot of young Raizales are losing fluency. Now, this is a classic case of language endangerment, which is something that we saw in the Unit 7 of this course. Creole has unique sounds and grammar, but I will let the person illustrate you with the examples.
En San Andrés y acá hay un idioma distinto que se llama
Creole, una mezcla de inglés, británico, francés y una lengua que hablaban en los tiempos de esclavitud africana también. Y esas tres lenguas mezcladas forman mi idioma, que es el criol, que son muy similares al inglés. Por decir, cuando yo voy a saludar a una persona, yo no le pregunto hi, how are you, como lo diría en inglés, sino que digo hi, how you there.
How you?
How you there.
How you there. Por ejemplo, ¿qué pasa? Se dice
What happened.
what happened.
No, es como decir en inglés what's happened, pero nosotros lo abreviamos y suena como what happened.
Perro,
Dog,
gato.
puss.
As you can see, there are some changes of the words like cat, they say puss, how your day, to say how are you. And we're gonna take a look at some other ones, some other grammatical nuances over here.
Estamos acá en la playa de San Andrés.
We there right up on the San Andres beach.
Me gusta comer hamburguesas.
I like the hamburger.
Me gusta mucho el chocolate.
I like chocolate too much.
Vamos a bailar.
Let's go dance.
Qué lindos ojos tenés.
You have a pretty eyes. Look,
You
I'm
have a pretty eyes.
You got a pretty eye. Oh, para mí.
You see, so I like the hamburger instead of saying I like burgers. I like chocolate too much instead of saying I like chocolate very much. And you can also hear this Caribbean accent that you can also hear if you go to places like Jamaica or even Nicaragua. Now one more that really caught my eye. Let's have a look at this one.
Cuando tú te sorprendes por algo, cuando tú, digamos, te llega un momento donde algo repentino como que te pasa,
Sí.
tú como que llega un momento que es como un tipo de sorpresa y susto al mismo tiempo. Entonces nosotros usamos ese momento para soltar esa expresión. Bumboclat, como de asusto, al mismo tiempo.
Now, the video is a bit longer, of course, but I had to trim it. Bomboklat. That's an expression that sounds very funny. And he explains that it's well, as he just said it, you know, for expressing amazement or anger even. Now, there's another thing, and that one would be the music, the food, and religion. Now, sadly, because of time constraints, I won't be able to show you this one that is rondon, which is a traditional seafood soup. Estoy en la Oopsie, sorry, my bad. My bad. So, as I was saying, there's music, there's a mix of reggae, calypso, soca. The food will be rondon. I know you might want to see this video, so I'm going to leave the link to this video and the other ones in the description of the assignment or in the description of this video. When it comes to food, there's the rondon, which is, as I said a few minutes ago, the traditional seafood soup, and religion is Protestant churches. That's from British influences. Another thing that I would like to point out is the pronunciation of the word think, for example, would be like think. She goes would be like she go. The girls like digyal them. It's interesting. But here's the question: why does this matter? Sorry, let me turn the lights off here. That's better. So why does this matter? Here's this. Imagine if tomorrow everyone told you that the way that you speak was wrong. That you had to stop using the words that you learned when you were a little kid in school. That the words that you use with your friends, or even the way that you say hello, is wrong. That is what's happening to Creole in San Andrés. Now, this is more than simply grammar rules. This is about people. Because when languages like Creole fade away, entire parts of our culture disappear as well. We're talking about like stories, jokes, songs, and different ways of seeing the world. And yes, English and Spanish are useful, but they don't have to replace Creole. I think that we can keep both. So we can think of it like biodiversity. A forest with only one kind of tree is very fragile. I think that the same thing goes for languages. Losing Creole would make the world less interesting, less fair, and honestly less human. So I think it does matter a lot. Sorry, I'm gonna get the lights on again. Okay, so as I was saying, Creole is slowly disappearing, guys, but there is still time to help. We can support the Raizal community's efforts to teach Creole in schools, use it on radio and TV, and even record stories from elders, right? Thank you very much for listening. I would like to leave you with one anecdote. I had a friend very close of mine who worked in Wales, right? The United Kingdom in Wales, and he said that kids there spoke Celtic language as well as English. I think it's really cool if they implemented those things in school. Anyway, here are the sources that I used. I'm going to paste all of this in the description of the video so that you can take a look at the articles, the photos, all of that. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you next time.